You know, like the 4-bean salad that's on the kosher tray?
The 4-bean?
Yeah, it's like
Yo, I know what you're
green
talking
bean,
about.
yellow
I'm
bean,
trying to
kidney
think of who
bean.
would like that.
It's alright when they make it, right? Like if the vinegar is there. You get what I'm saying?
Back like 10 years ago, that used to be alright. But I don't know if like they just started like adding too much vinegar to it or what.
Yeah, like if it, whoever's in the diet room, if they know what they're doing, it don't come out too bad. Other than that, the meat and the
that makes the
man.
difference. Who the chef is.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you'll get somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. And you always know when it switches up too, because they keep the same cook for a while.
Mm-hmm. For a few years.
Yeah.
What was that drawing in the background with the man on the chalkboard?
Oh,
You had a
that's.
drawing.
Oh, you know how I was in my cell. I just always draw. It's like it's dark now, but over to the right is I was trying to draw like the anatomy because.
Is that on the roof?
Yeah.
It's like the Bat Cave.
I was just watching the thing with Aaron and I, and he was like, "What's that? That's a man cave? That's what that's called, right?"
Dude, it's hot outside.
I
It's
know,
so
man.
hot.
I had to give Dustin a ride home.
Oh, it was so hot he couldn't walk.
Yeah, I picked him up, then I went and picked my niece up, and I mean, mind you, I'm melting away too.
In the car.
Yeah. Because to pick up Dustin, I took a different car because he's not always, he works with concrete, so he'll be dusty, so I wanted to basically put blankets down.
Yeah, put a trash bag around him before he gets in the car. You gotta wrap up before you get in here.
He's every time I pick him up, he's got a different scooter. The one time, it was it looked like a dirt bike, like a mini bike. No, it was bigger than a mini bike. It looked like a dirt bike, but the thing folded into like this little compact, to like the size of a dirt bike wheel. Like the wheels folded side by side, and then the handlebars went in them. He's like, it'll fit in the trunk. I was like, that thing ain't fitting in there.
You might have remembered before you left. You remember them commercials with the, like, it was like one wheel, but it was like a skateboard?
Man, let me show you this. Yeah, it's called New Wheel. Let me show you this one. I bet you haven't seen this one.
It was like an all-terrain wheel? Like you
Yeah,
go
it's called New
with it.
Wheel.
I think that's what the commercial was.
It's called NU Wheel, New Wheel, or something like that. But here's one, because I sent it.
Does it go fast?
This is a guy on the highway, man. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Damn. I'm gonna try to make it where you.
Is that like a sport bike?
No, he's on what's one wheel. There you go.
Yeah, I can see it. What?
That's a highway. That's the highway.
It's like a tricycle. Is that legal for the road?
That's one wheel.
Is it legal for the road?
I have no idea.
Kanye, that's about to be the new mode of transportation.
Yeah.
Especially if they can, like, stabilize it, like...
Yeah, what they do, they have those stabilizers. Remember when Segways first came out?
Yeah.
You couldn't
Same
fall on those
technology,
things.
just different setup.
Jay, out here, it's like those contraptions, those scooters and stuff, they're legally allowed to ride on the road.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think the highway, though, but that's who, like, you're in traffic with these scooters, these bikes. And the first time I seen it...
How much do those things run?
Anywhere from like 200 to like 5,000. What's his? Dustin got one. Dustin got one. He's got two. Well, I think he must have traded or sold one. When I first got out, I was behind somebody and he's on a bike. Or at least I thought it was a pedal bike. And he's like on the highway. So I'm like honking at the dude like, yo, what the heck are you doing, man? That's dangerous. And he yelled something back at me. I was like, all right, whatever, man. Do you. Man, this bicycle took off faster than my car.
It's like the movie Tron.
Yeah, that's it. The craziest thing is seeing one of them things do a wheelie because it has no sound. So it's just like a on one wheel. Yo, you were outside today.
I'm what?
You went outside in that.
Yeah, it was hot. I didn't go out this morning. I went out this afternoon. It was piping out there.
Oh.
Can you still get a tan though with sunscreen?
Yeah. Yeah, you'll still get a tan. You just won't burn.
I did get a bottle of sunscreen, right? And I put some on my head like when I'm working out. Cause like other than that, I'll like keep a t-shirt or like a beater on my head or a handkerchief. Like I'll wet it and I'll leave it on cause it's just so hot out there. And so I put the sunscreen on the one day. I tell Tip, right? I said, I smell like the beach, right? He's like, what
Yeah.
smells like the beach? He said, you
That's
mean white
sunscreen.
people with the beach, right?
Yeah, every time I put that on, man, I would think of Cape May, New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
Hey, speaking of Tip, what's you know what's Gorilla's real name? You remember? Shiz?
On his last.
Yeah, that's it.
Because I had Mom look up his case law the one day, like to see like what his whole. I don't even know what his argument was because Mom couldn't get the case to me. She printed up the wrong case.
I remember. Hold on. It was something to do with a gun or no. It was something to do with because there was a gun claim, but he didn't beat that one. He took a deal for that one. The one was the alternating suspects or multiple suspects.
Alternative suspects, yeah.
Yeah. What was his first name? I'll send him an email. That is it. Damn, I can't believe I couldn't think of it. I don't know what's wrong with me sometimes, man. His appeal's on the computer over there if you want to read it.
Have you read it before?
Yeah, I printed it out for him.
Okay, was
I think I printed out Tip one. Oh no, I gave it to Tip. I used Tip's card to print it out.
Was the what the alternatives? Was there any like witnesses saying anything?
I can't remember, and the only reason I can't remember, Jay, is well, I kind of remember, but I don't want to say the wrong thing because I've read so many cases. I sometimes like will say somebody's case and it was somebody else's case. So I.
All right, like sometimes I get Pierce and Strickland confused.
Well, just all you gotta know is the difference between them is Pierce just has one addition.
Yeah, they set the same standard, but it's like, you know, it's a little bit different. It's PCRA claims.
Pierce adds that claim, which is sort of like ambiguous. It's like if you read how it's set, it's basically saying your counsel, I mean, anything could basically constitute as your counsel being effective, as long as he shows up and talks to you.
Just shows up and talks.
That's it. That is it. Yeah, our system is messed up, man.
If I was representing myself, I wouldn't just be able to show up and talk.
No, yeah, if you're fighting for your life, I emailed Aaron's attorney today, and I mean, I'm just trying to not be emasculating because you know how these attorneys are, but I wanted to explain to him at the same time, do not file a no merit letter. At least, and I'll do all the work. You don't have to do anything. At least let me preserve his claims. This judge is going to dismiss anything you put on the table. You probably know that. That's probably why you might not even care. But I want to take it to the next court, which you're not obligated to. So at least allow me to preserve the claims I want to take.
Yo, what's a writ of certiorari?
Certiorari, that's the United States Supreme Court. A writ of aliquotur is the Pennsylvania Supreme.
So how can you utilize them in a PCRA or no?
What do you mean? Those cases?
I'm saying, can you file, like, all right, let's say, all right, after Supreme, let's say your individual's on direct appeal, right? They go from trial court, right? After sentencing, they will file post-sentence motions, all right? Post-sentence motions are denied. Notice of appeal will be filed after that, correct?
You're talking about the direct appeal?
On your direct appeal.
You're still in your 30 days? Yeah, the direct appeal.
Yeah,
when you're done when you're done your direct appeal rights, it's basically like a whole different type of rights come up. It's called a collateral review as opposed to a direct review.
Yeah, but like, all right, so the writ for certiorari, right?
Certiorari. Yeah.
Certiorari, it can be filed on direct appeal after the Supreme Court.
You still have to go to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals.
Before a writ of certiorari?
Yes. You don't have to go to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, but you have to go through the Third Circuit and the Third Circuit Court of Appeals.
Now, what if you're on a PCRA? All right, because does any of that apply, or do you just go from Superior, Supreme, Habe?
Yes. Trial Court, Superior Court, Habeas, Third Circuit Court of Appeals, and then the writ of certiorari.
Oh, so all that comes after your Habe, the certiorari and the.
Yes. The writ of certiorari is the last thing you can do. There's nothing beyond that.
Oh, so the Third Circuit would come before the federal Habe as well.
No, the Third Circuit is the federal Habe. That's who reviews your federal Habe. The Third Circuit is the federal court. And if they deny it, like they'll file, you'll see, and yeah, it does get very confusing, and it makes no sense because there's so many different appeals and judges that have all these reviews. So when you file a habeas corpus, you'll file it to a magistrate judge, and the magistrate judge isn't the one who makes the ruling. He makes what's called a R&R, a report and recommendation, and then he'll file that, and it'll probably say, more than likely it'll say, I think his claims should be dismissed for this, and this reason. He's basically like the Commonwealth when you're in the Superior Court. And then you can object to that. You have 14 days to file an objection to the R&R, and that all then goes to the district judge, who makes the ruling on your federal habeas corpus. If that district judge dismisses it, then you still actually have a couple options. Like in between, you have basically like a motion for reconsideration. There's one other thing too, and then an appeal to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, which is just basically appealing the district judge, their adopting of the magistrate's R&R.
Now, is there an issue if at any point the trial court or the appeals court mischaracterizes the facts on the record?
Say that again?
The mischaracterization of facts on the record. Like if the record is mischaracterized because facts are misrepresented.
You mean like a transcript? Like a piece of evidence?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a transcript. Like if something is, or in a decision, like in an opinion given by the courts.
Then what's your question? What happens?
Well, yeah, I'm just asking, is there a stance you could take to argue that, to correct the record?
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's what Streets is arguing, and his is based on one word. At the preliminary, the description of the gun was one color, and then at trial, it was a different color. And somebody crossed out the color and wrote a different color above it. And they didn't follow basically like the protocol, like the chain of commands. And that's what he's arguing right now. Like I mean, it doesn't say there's an exception. The stenographer or the DA, whoever made that change, is supposed to get the court's approval, let the defense know. I mean, even if it's something that you don't think is a big deal.
Did they seek to correct the record?
Yes. And in his case, they did not.
That's crazy.
I wonder, have you talked to him recently? I don't know how his went.
I seen him the other day, and because he was going to the gym, and I said something to him about I said Brooke told me to get with you, see if you had any like case law on recantation or shit like that.
Did he have them?
No, he said he's gonna look through his stuff, but he says his case isn't based behind a recantation. But
that was his first claim. That's what he was first going through.
Oh, okay.
Ricky's Streets is on, like, I think his 5th PCRA, maybe 6th.
Damn.
That's why they weren't taking him very seriously. But this last one, they actually, I think they even assigned him an attorney.
Yeah, I told mom to text because I learned that on this PCRA class, I learned actually that I asked a question, like a sidebar conversation, beyond what we were already learning in class. And, I told mom that's why it's important that communicates with because me communicating with can potentially taint any investigation, and that's not what you don't need that. But that's why I'm supposed to have been set up this phone call with him and we're supposed to talk.
You don't gotta tell me. When your mom says, hey, I need you to call, he should be on it. Oh, that's why I wanted to ask you. I don't think I told you yesterday. Dang, you might not see him anymore. C. You ever see him anymore?
Talking about Seed?
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yeah. No, you're talking. Oh, C. C's actually on E block now.
He was my cellie.
Yeah.
Ask him for a copy of the motion that I put in against his trial attorney to get his money back.
I mean, the claims will be different, right?
Yeah. I was just trying. I can't find it. I had 2 of them. One was granted, and his was dismissed, but it was still granted. He was still granted a hearing. And the reason why I was thinking of his was because his was untimely when I did it. The judge and the attorney didn't even argue my time claims. The attorneys argued that they did sufficient work to be entitled to that money. In C's case, the attorney actually proved that he did actually a lot of work, contrary to what C said. The other guy, when he tried to prove his time, his hours and work, he couldn't. So he actually then asked for a settlement and offered, I don't remember what it was, I think like $7,000. I filed another thing that I filed that was really freaking untimely. Remember Reels? Remember Reels?
Mm-hmm.
I did a motion for his property return, and it got granted. He got $2,000 back. That was the DA settlement, because I had asked for, it was like $2,100 or $2,300 and 3 cell phones, and the DA said, I can't give you the cell phones, but I'll give you your money back.
Okay.
Every time I filed them, I always was expecting a fight for the time, but they never fought me on the time.
Damn, bro. This shit's crazy, man.
You listen. You got a better hand to play than most.
Yeah. Some people don't even have their appeal rights.
Speaking of, Aaron's attorney just emailed me back. I'll read it later. These attorneys, man, I have no faith in any of them. I know there's good attorneys out there, but
No, there is, but
It's
it's
so
like
hard.
slim pickings.
Jay, out here, man, people change. People are really greedy.
Like the bar needs to be set to a certain standard, like because you pay a contractor to do a job, right? And he's not even communicating with the individual that paid him to find out how he wants the job done. How did he effectively do the job if the job was never communicated? The
Exactly.
details of how the job needs to be done, how he wants the towels on the floor, the towels in the shower, how he wants the bathroom set up, it all goes into contracting. How can a contractor effectively do his job if he's not speaking to the owner of the house to find out what he wants done?
You can even raise contractual law because it is a contract. Same thing with the plea agreement. You can raise contractual law because that was a contract. And there's case laws that substantiate.
You got them?
Those case laws? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, matter of fact, I used them.
When the time comes, they'll be there when the time comes.
When I took mine to court or to the feds, the judge said Mr. Rakita is correct. He was entitled to a triple RI. Unfortunately, he's untimely.
How are you correct but untimely?
It makes no sense to me either, bro. And then
your rights were violated, of course, but you're untimely.
So all right, and then so clearly my then PCRA counsel was ineffective, so I shouldn't be untimely, but I'm untimely because I still should have appealed from my PCRA counsel's ineffectiveness, but I didn't know anything about the law. That's when I started learning the law because I was thinking, damn, I sort of got fucked, and then by the time I learned it and filed it.
Is the contract dispute thing, is that filed in a separate court?
No, your trial judge will have first dibs on it, and I don't think I've ever seen them not take it. Same thing with when you file to get your money back. It doesn't have to go in front of that judge. It could go in front of a civil judge. And I already asked your mom. Your mom said your judge was all right. At least that's to some extent. How can anybody, I guess they gotta they gotta be desensitized to be able to sentence a teenager to life without parole. I mean, even if bad people, I've met some bad kids in there, but to sentence them to life without any possibility of parole, I don't think I would have it in me.
No chance of rehabilitation.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. Why wouldn't you want them to rehabilitate, be remorseful for what they did? I mean, you're basically saying here, go to prison and just kick it till you die. You know what I mean? But if you have parole, a chance at parole, the game changes. You're not just doing time. You're doing something because you have a goal.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see parole. Parole's not just going to let you go home. You have to earn it. It's incentive. Say like triple RI. I was supposed to have triple RI. That was good time. I would have shaved off 3 years of my sentence had I been good. When I got to prison and I didn't have triple RI, if you've seen my early records, you could see I didn't care because I didn't have any incentive. The only reason I changed was because I wanted to change. There was no incentive to. And that's half the population. More than half. Pennsylvania doesn't give people incentive to rehabilitate.
Mm-hmm. I got in violence prevention because I talked to the lady a while back that runs the class, and it's excuse me, they have to, I think they have to have at least one lifer. That's a thing now. They have to have at least one lifer in every group now.
In every group?
I don't know, I think there's things that have changed that it's you can't deny, it has to be a certain percentage. Obviously there's priorities, they have to prioritize people, but the opportunity has to be there for at least programming. Huh. I just talked to the one, last week or was it? Yeah, it was last Wednesday or Monday or Tuesday, it was something like that. I seen the guidance counselor in the hallway and I asked him about the Ed Warehouse. For getting forklift certified and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just to do that, so it's there. I have it. Yeah. The knowledge is there.
you're adding stuff to your folder. I was telling your mom about my box when I went home. I don't remember who I was talking about, but I said you can judge, a person's time by what he carries home with him. And most people, when they leave prison, they leave with that envelope from the medical department and a pack of condoms that they give you. That's it. When I left, it was a record box. I had to throw away stuff I didn't want to because it was too heavy. That's how you can determine if you use your time wisely. You bring home nothing, you obviously did nothing with your time. And then she was like, oh, but Jay's doing this. I said, Pam, I wasn't comparing this to Jay. I believe me, I know Jay doesn't have to at this point, but he still is, and that's more than a lot of people that are in his shoes.
And walk out the door with nothing.
Nothing. After all those years.
Like the sweats and the shoes, and they can have that. Like the men can have that,
I'm talking about just paperwork.
Paperwork, like legal work.
All my lawsuits. My certificates was just a little folder, but I have all my articles I wrote, all my letters, my correspondence with, newspapers and stuff.
Grievances, stuff like that.
I have a folder of grievances, absolutely. Yeah, actually and those appeals, that probably took up about that much space in that box. That was pretty big.
What, for grievances, the appeal process, because of all the copies?
I have one folder that's just old grievances. I even had a folder of request slips too, just like pertinent ones that I thought, I think I should save this. Yeah, one was like Miss first she wrote me, she apologized saying, "You're right, I apologize. You did send that. We found it."
They found it.
I wrote to Barry Smith one time for one of the meals he gave us too. I said, I know you get a bunch of request slips for every wrong move you make. It could be exaggerated and you hear about it. But I just want to say, thank you. You gave us those hash browns and you really didn't have to. And I appreciate that. It turns out he's a freaking sex offender. I don't know why that corruption bothers me so bad, Jay. I swear I think it's just me, man. It bothers me out here too. I just can't let things go.
It's like you see the wrong in it. It's like, damn, if that was me, I'd have been in prison forever.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely see that. And I compare a lot to things like Hunter Biden. I mean, the things he did. And a lot of these other, like, white-collar crimes where they took taxpayers' money. They robbed us. They robbed the people. Millions.
With the hard-working people.
Yeah, and they don't do that much time, if any time, but yet, like, Tennessee, he's in prison. He's come up on 4 years now because he was late to an NA meeting 3 times. Like, what sense does that make? And I mean, yeah, he got write-ups in prison, but even if, and just as well as I do, there's people in prison right now serving a year because they went and got water when they weren't supposed to. That was the write-up. Mace, he's out there sitting at the hill just throwing rocks down at the bottom of the fence. Wrote him up for
yeah, they wrote him up for that.
Yeah.
Tampering with a locking mechanism or some shit like that.
And then
it's crazy, they wrote him, the fence that he threw it at wasn't even a...
It was, I know, I was there. It was that second little fence.
It was the second little fence. They said didn't they say like a motion sensor was set off?
Yeah, but I don't believe that.
But that fence don't even have sensors on it.
No, it was somebody who the person who wrote it up was the person in the control booth who's watching the cameras.
But somebody had thrown something at that big fence and it went off. And I think when they looked at the cameras, they seen Mace throwing rocks at the little fence. But
still, like, investigate. That's the whole. I mean, he got a year for that. And the pro agent said to him, he said, you got to look at it from my standpoint. We don't know if you were testing the structural integrity of our fences. Mace was up for parole. What would he have any need to test the fence? These people have no sense. A year hit for that. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that bothers me, man. It keeps me up at night. The next time, I was going to say, we should have did another Q&A.
Yeah, we should have. That would have been cool.
I have a whole bunch of them too.
Well, give me two. Give me two real quick.
Oh, there were some good ones too. How do prisoners become so muscular after eating badly all the time?
How do they become so muscular from eating badly all the time?
I mean, that's just because we sit in there and work out. We have nothing else to do but work out and read. So it doesn't matter what we eat. You can attest to that. Here's what indeed happens when you drop the soap in jail.
I mean, yeah, I think it depends. I don't know. I don't think anything happens, but it depends on if you're in a gang shower or if you're in a like the divider. I mean, it would be more. I mean, that would more or less be a thing if you had, the group showers.
Yeah. They got rid of a lot of those group showers. They probably still have them in Rockview and Huntington, but nobody wants to be in a shower with somebody who's getting. If I'm gonna have to bleep that word out. Is life in jail any different while awaiting trial versus convicted?
Yes.
What is prison like if you were very fat? I can tell you that. I remember after COVID, I was how fat I was. Prison sucked, man. I couldn't walk anywhere, and I mean, they don't give you no breaks. They don't care about your health in there.
I think if it's hotter too, you might suffer a little bit more.
What are the craziest things somebody in prison has done? Show them your tongue. Is that thing still split? Ah, God. He took, what was that you put in your tongue to saw it?
I pierced it with a sewing needle and then took thread and just...
Yeah, it's sewing thread.
I mean, I cut it. Like, it was like friction.
Oh, no,
it was
the
like
nylon thread.
It was all... Yeah, it was almost like a friction burn, so it didn't bleed. It was like, it was weird.
Yeah. It was weird for everybody around you.
On the streets when they do it, I think they do it with a scalpel and like, I don't know. I think it would be a heated up scalpel, so it cauterizes it when it's cutting through.
What would happen to a prisoner in prison that he acted like Cool Hand Luke and broke rules by refusing to conform and provoke the guards? These dudes.
They're gonna send him to the hole. They're gonna come deep and get him, take him over, right? Extract him.
Remember? Yeah. Cool Hand Luke. I ain't doing what these guards tell me to do. I ain't locking him, bro. I'm Cool Hand Luke. Well, yo, Cool Hand Luke, you can turn around and put your hands up on that wall. Why is going into protection so bad in prison? Unless I'm wrong, you get your own cell. Why is it so bad? He's talking about PC.
Well, why would you check in?
Well, he's saying, because why would it be bad if you get your own cell when you check in? Why wouldn't just anybody check in to get their own cell? Because it's a reputation thing. It's men. See, dudes nowadays, they don't live by like the code.
But that's not even the case. Dudes will check in and go to the hole, and they have a cellie in the hole that checked in.
Yeah, that's right. They probably don't know that. Yeah, the PC dudes, they get celled up with another PC dude. Do prisons and jails sometimes silently remove an inmate from his unit in the middle of the night so he could snitch or tell on other inmates without any other inmates suspecting?
I'm sure they would.
Yeah, I think I heard of somebody like being called out in the middle of the night, but I can't